Why is everything so expensive at the airport?
Take a look at these chocolate bars. They're identical, except one costs 120% more
Wow.
because this was bought at the airport. You probably know you're paying a premium, but have you ever
So
realized
expensive.
just how much more? This burger from Chili's is marked up 46% from its street price.
Whoa.
There are so many airports across the U.S. where the management isn't answerable to the broader public.
But the problem isn't just that passengers are a captive audience. It's a lack of competition.
Whoa,
Like,
that's
look at
right.
this food court. All 6 of these businesses are operated by the same multi-billion-dollar company.
Wow.
So how did airport prices get so high? And why are some
Damn.
airports
That's like 3 times as expensive.
raising them even more? To understand how we got 5 Starbucks in a single
O'Hare.
terminal, we need to go back to the early 20th century,
That's Chicago.
when airports looked more like train stations.
People complained about airports being overcrowded, dirty, dingy kind of places. The glamour came once you got on the airplane.
See how neatly everything is arranged on the tray?
But for the air travel industry to grow, airports needed to improve. They also needed to make money from passengers.
Dude.
They were making money any way they could. Observation.
I think I know why. It's like you walk in, you go through all security. You can't bring outside water. You can't bring. You could bring food, I believe, but you can't bring water, any liquid. But once you get in, it's like you can't. You're not gonna risk going out and then coming back in. That's too much work. And if you walk out, there's nothing near. It's an airport. You're not gonna walk to a grocery store. You're not gonna walk to a Walgreens and buy anything. It's like once you get in, you're paying for convenience because now you're stuck there. No one's leaving.
Decks, oil wells, swimming pools, tennis courts. Some of them began to charge for parking, which became a big moneymaker eventually.
Tennis
there
courts.
might be a newsstand there. Airports tried things like pay toilets.
That's crazy.
Every nickel counts, I guess.
By the mid-20th century, airports opened restaurants to attract not only passengers, but also those wanting a night out.
These were very nice restaurants.
Okay, at the airport, come on. It's so busy already. You're gonna add restaurants for more traffic, more congestion? Just doesn't make sense.
In my hometown, you would go for an anniversary. People would go there for prom.
This postcard described Janet's hometown airport as the Midwest's most distinctive dining and cocktail lounge. And in the 1960s, some new terminals were architectural marvels.
These types of amenities were designed to bring people to the airport, maybe inspire them to fly, but also to generate.
What? The airport's like the worst place I want to be in. Like, I don't want to go to an airport just to have dinner. Even if it's a big dinner, I'll go to an actual restaurant, not an airport. You know how much. I mean, maybe this is before TSA, but like. Now, dude, you have to go through security. You have to get everything searched, patted down, walk through x-ray, get cancer. And then you go to your meal. Dude, that's too much hassle. Why would they do this?
Revenue. Of course, airports are always looking for ways to make more money.
This was the golden age of flying.
I thought airports were government owned. People own airports? That's crazy.
Here in the cabin, it's like a gentle.
Oh, that's crazy.
But compared
Smoking
to
in
today,
the air.
not that many people traveled by plane. Because tickets
End of
were
an era.
expensive, it was mostly the wealthy and businessmen that flew.
That'd be
And those
amazing.
who
Smoking
did
up
fly
there.
weren't spending much
Looks
time
amazing.
in airports anyways. But that changed in 1978. Congress deregulated the industry, allowing airlines to decide their own rates and routes. Soon after, ticket prices fell.
Deregulation led to literally a frenzy of fare wars. Well, you get what you pay for. You went from getting gourmet meals to getting the bag of pretzels, peanuts,
Wait, what?
a soda pop, no more free cigarettes.
No way.
For those who'd grown up in aviation during the golden age, their world was gone.
Dude,
Because-
that's insane. I mean, There was a saying. It's like, oh, they ruined flying. No, I just realized this. They made it cheaper so more people can fly. But like, if you pay more, yeah, of course you're gonna get all those. But I don't. I believe you still can't smoke up there. Maybe in a private jet. Maybe. I don't know.
As they lowered fares, the service on the airplanes also, as they would put it, deteriorated.
The number of people flying in the US each year nearly doubled over the next decade, thanks to cheaper tickets and bigger planes.
I could afford to fly. And if you know about graduate students, they can't afford much of anything.
In the 1980s, an increase in connecting flights meant passengers waited longer in the terminal.
This big rush in there overwhelmed airports.
They could shop at a newsstand or eat at a few quick service restaurants. But it wasn't a great experience. Even back then, passengers complained about 50 to 100% markups.
The airports and the airlines began thinking, well, we need to do something to keep passengers happy while they're sitting here
Let me see
waiting
Starbucks.
for their connection.
The solution?
Let me see how much is Starbucks.
Malls.
Like
The
normal.
Pittsburgh airport opens in the early 1990s, and it catches on immediately.
With more than 100 shops and restaurants, Pittsburgh's airport was the first in the US to transform the terminal into a mall.
It not only makes passengers a lot happier.
Yeah, look. Cold brew, $5. I was at the casino. I paid like 8 or something. Let me see. Can I see my... Anyways.
But it's a great revenue source because every one of those shops are going to pay a rental fee to the airport.
In fact, the airport
All right, $5, right? I paid 8. $8 at what's this? At the casino. Even the casino. It's what, upcharged like 60%?
its revenue soared 75% within 6 years, according to one report. And the airport achieved that without price hikes. It used a model called street pricing. Basically, what you buy inside the airport should cost the same as outside.
Oh, what?
The county commissioner even said, "We're the first airport not to gouge people."
The air mall
Interesting.
concept was a great one to make a lot more money.
Other airports poured tens of millions of dollars into renovations, hoping to emulate Pittsburgh's success. And in response to passenger complaints, other airports also followed the street pricing model.
What happened to
But
that?
if airports had this policy back in the 90s and early 2000s, why does this chocolate bar cost more than double what you'd pay outside?
That's insane. $14 for chocolate.
Nowadays, most U.S.
$14 for chocolate? That's a whole meal. Like, you go outside, dude, that's a whole meal. You could get a Chipotle bowl for that.
airports use something they call street pricing plus. That is
Plus,
a product's street price plus an additional 10 to 15%.
what? 10 to 15%. What was that? That was a
Street
20?
price plus an additional 10 to 15%.
Okay, that's... What is that? I don't even know what that is. Let's say... Oh yeah, that's like 15%.
The authority that controls the airport sets this price cap.
15%, a fair and reasonable adjustment for our concessionaires.
Businesses aren't supposed to go over this additional percentage. And in most cases, the airport audits prices a few times a year. Under this model, prices should only be a little bit higher.
No, bro, that's like double, bro. Where are they getting these street prices? And where are they getting the 15% from? That's like 200... No, that's like 100%. Right? Where are you getting these prices from? Going to, I don't know, Times Square? Going to another airport? Going to... What other places overcharge like crazy? Oh, gas station. Convenience stores? Dude. Yeah, that'll be like, what, $4? And you're going to put 15%? Boom. $5. Not even.
But how an airport determines street price can be a bit
Right. Where are they getting these?
confusing. That $14 chocolate bar is from LaGuardia in New York City, which
Okay.
is run by the
Port Authority of New York and New Jersey.
It requires
Oh.
businesses to set
Isn't Port Authority owned by the government? What's in here? Lay's chips. That's insane. 5 something. For the small one, dude, this is robbery. This is, some of them, they don't even give you prices. Like if you go to casino, dude, they don't give you prices. They just hope you buy it, dude. There was one couple, they're like, how much is this? It said like $13, where it should be worth like, I don't know, $2, $3. They're like, oh, yo, honey, hey, honey, that's $13. And they just didn't get it. They don't give you any prices. There's no prices anywhere. They just hope you're there for a good time and don't watch your wallet. You just spend whatever you want.
Prices based on the average of comparable items sold outside the airport, plus an additional 15%. This is what the Port Authority said District Market was
I don't know about that.
citing for the chocolate bar. But when we checked in person, we found a different story. One location didn't sell this bar at all.
That's crazy.
The other two sold it for less than District Market said. In response, the Port Authority didn't say
It may have been the item and price when it was original.
it would be adjusting any prices. Because enforcement and repercussions are lax, examples abound of companies charging more than 10 to 15% above street price. Let's say Janet flew out of MSP and wanted to buy her favorite airport snack.
Oh, M&Ms. You know, they melt in your mouth, not in your hand.
In August 2025, the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport told Business Insider it uses street pricing plus 10%. But at this
I don't
Hudson
know.
News store, Janet would pay 69% more than she would at a Walgreens outside the airport.
That's crazy.
A Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit meal costs over 16% more.
Yeah, for my, what was it? For my coffee, I mean, I didn't get it from, let's see. For my coffee, I got it for $8. But if I get it now on the street, it's like $5. That's $3 more. 3 over 5 was that? That's 60. Yeah, 60% more. Should be the same for airport. Let me see the menu. I remember some food. Yeah, even the bacon. Oh yeah, I remember this one. It's like $10 at the airport. It was bacon, Gouda, and egg sandwich. On the street, it's $5.25. In the airport, dude, it's like $10. They doubled it, 100%.
And one of the worst offenders we found was a yogurt marked up 84%.
84%.
A spokesperson from the Metropolitan Airports Commission told Business Insider that locations are audited 2 times annually or on an as-needed basis. But it did not comment on the price disparities. Even though most airports have a pricing policy, a lack of enforcement means passengers often get a bad deal.
That's crazy.
But some in the industry say that charging street prices isn't sustainable because it's more expensive to run a business inside an airport.
I wonder how much it costs to rent one. Like for a small shop. Dude. I mean, heavy foot traffic, it's always worth more. I know small, like hole in the walls in New York, like Times Square, they're like $8,000 a month. And it's literally like a hallway. But they make money because of all the foot traffic. That's insane. I mean, why would the airport enforce lower prices? If people are buying, people are paying, why would you enforce lower prices? You know what I mean?
All employees, products, and equipment need to go through security, which increases construction and labor costs. The exact numbers vary, but development reportedly costs 30 to 40% more than it does outside. On top of that, some cities set a higher minimum wage for airport workers.
And we're also asking you to generally run your business from 4 a.m. to midnight.
What?
Your pasta place, we're saying, okay, what's for breakfast?
And businesses pay a percentage of their sales to the airport. That's part of their rent.
Wow.
Businesses here at the airport pay anywhere between 6 and 20%, but the vast majority are paying between 10 and 16%.
Bro, a restaurant's markup is already like I mean, usually I feel like it's like 30%, 40%. After all the expenses, it's like 30%. If you pay that, dude, the restaurant's not making anything.
But there's one thing that usually doesn't get brought up by these companies: competition, or the lack of it. In the US, the vast majority of airport food and retail is managed by 6 large corporations. You might not have heard their names before, but these companies have their footprints everywhere.
I've heard of Shake
Worldwide,
Shack.
They operate more than 13,000 locations. Remember this food court? It's in the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. It might seem like you have 6 options, but inside the airport, these restaurants are all operated by one company, HMS Host. And it goes even further. Volta, the company that owns HMS Host, also owns the duty-free and Hudson News stores at this airport.
It's a monopoly.
But even that's not the full picture. A store like this Prairie Market seems like a different business, but it's operated by Hudson under the Avolta umbrella. You can see it advertising Avolta's rewards program. But it's not just this airport. In parts of LaGuardia in New York City, you can't escape Avolta's signs. Another big player, OTG, operates 350 locations in North America, including this Chibo Express gourmet market that sells yogurt for 84% above street price. After we reached out, OTG said it lowered the yogurt's price down to about what you'd pay outside the airport.
No way.
Many airport businesses...
I mean, $2 to $4 is only like $2 difference. I don't think people care. But if people are paying, it shouldn't be a big problem. It's only if like a bunch of people... I mean, if you don't like it, just boycott it. You know? Just don't buy it.
...have multiple owners, but the large concessionaire is usually the majority stakeholder. And because a few big companies have a hand in most of the airports in the country, there's hardly any competition within a terminal. Mergers...
That's crazy. What is that? Et fromage. It's cheese, crackers, grapes, some fruits. For $14. Water for $6. What's next to it? It's probably like $15 as well. Apples, peanut, PB&J. There's no way.
An acquisition.
Oatmeal for $7. Madeleines. It sounds familiar. What is that? Is that like a cracker?
Are consolidating the industry.
Areas to acquire Delaware.
Even more. And these companies often advocate for airports to raise their street pricing cap. The Phoenix, Arizona airport abandoned street pricing entirely in 2019. After 2 large concessions companies, HMS Host and SSP, asked for the cap to be increased. That means there's theoretically no limit to what businesses charge.
I mean, honestly, if people are paying, this is what I'm saying. If people are paying, just don't. Like, it doesn't matter. People are paying. It's like the value you give. If the value you give isn't worth it, people won't buy it. I feel like, what's it called? Free market? It's like you can price it at whatever, but if people don't buy it, that's your fault. Like, just price it at whatever. I feel like the only way is if people just don't buy it.
But if everyone charges high prices, passengers don't have anywhere else to go.
Eat before the flight. Don't buy it.
This became more of a problem after 9/11. New security measures greatly increased what's called dwell time, basically the time spent waiting in the terminal. And studies have shown that for airports, more waiting means more food and retail revenue.
About 63% of passengers on the
Retail anthropologist? What's that even mean? Anthropologist is like the study of humans. Retail study of humans. Interesting. But yeah, TSA it's kind of weird. It's like sometimes you arrive 2 hours early because of TSA. You have to get screened, check your bags. Sometimes there's huge lines. But sometimes you go in there and it's empty. It's totally empty, and then you just have 2 hours. What are you going to do?
airplane side will make some form of purchase. Some of it is based on boredom because the average time spent at an airport is roughly 2 hours. It is only the
I just said 2 hours.
very experienced travel that will often go through security with an empty bottle and then take it to a
Yep.
water fountain and fill it up. But that is
I should have done
a
that.
tiny percentage of passengers.
The whole goal of moving them through quickly is one, to reduce the stress time that they have, but two, provide them with the opportunity to spend more time post-security.
Who is this guy?
hopefully Supporting the concessions program.
Supporting, donating to the robbery.
For more than 2 decades, airports have capitalized on dwell time, and the concessionaires have made heaps of money. It's usually impossible to get to your gate without walking past food or retail.
If you get someone's saliva glands working, they tend to buy more.
That's essential to the business model. U.S. airports earn almost half their revenue from non-aeronautical sources.
Half?
Passengers parking their cars or buying food.
Diversifying non-aeronautical
What?
revenue and getting more of it is really one of our highest priorities, to kind of protect ourselves from these unknowns.
In 2024, U.S. airports
20. Oh, that's from like COVID. 2020. Yeah, it's just dropped. Airport. Oh wait. Oh, okay. I was gonna say like, yo, food and beverage. I mean, less people travel.
made over twice as much food and beverage revenue as they did in 2010.
Yeah. It's called inflation. Get up with the game, Business Insider.
So are there any airports in the U.S. where you don't pay a premium? One of the few that doesn't use Street Pricing Plus is in Portland, Oregon.
It's clean street pricing. Whatever they charge downtown in their stores or on their street locations is what they have to charge here at the airport. There are no
Wow.
fees, no additional charges.
At PDX, the percentage the airport takes is relative to a business's sales volume.
If you're working with them to make them successful and have a financial structure that allows them to flourish, then I don't think they're so against the street pricing cap.
And it's been a success.
The passenger spend per what we call per enplaned passenger at PDX is about $15.03. That's about 20% higher than the average through the nation, which is around $12.50.
PDX has used street pricing for decades.
Does he mean like they spend more? If they spend more but less margin, rather than spend less but higher margin? Depends on the numbers, really.
Dan doesn't expect the industry to follow suit.
I think that airports that don't have the model today, it's hard to turn the dial back.
In fact, some airports are moving in the other direction. Since 2010, LAX used street pricing plus 18%.
Okay.
But it removed that cap on most items
What?
in 2025 in response to complaints over rising airport minimum wage.
Oh, shoot.
And the Airport Restaurant and Retail Association wants flexible pricing. Or in other words, no limit. It says
Let's think about this. It's like, oh, we can't afford to pay our workers. Let's take the cap off of how much we're charging. Charge more so we can pay our workers. Shouldn't that be up to the business? I mean, yeah, don't have a cap, but you're kind of in there, like you're stuck in there. Who goes to say like, oh, have governments come in, and who's really complaining about this? There's no way people flying are like, oh, it's too high.
that overall passenger satisfaction is more important than price. But the 6 big airport food and retail operators are very focused on increasing profitability. Part of Avolta's long-term strategy is to continuously drive spend per passenger and optimize the profitability of our commercial spaces. And so far, it's been quite successful.
I'm thinking of it like this. It's like if you can run a successful business and still pay your workers, have it in the airport. But if you can't, then just don't open your business in the airport. But as of right now, they're kind of stuck already. Like they already have all these stores already set up, already running. And the only problem with it is like, oh, we're not having enough revenue. Let's increase the prices. So they're kind of stuck, but in a way, it's like the other side of it is like, oh, you don't have to open your store here. It depends which side you're on.
At a time when everything feels more expensive, some passengers might be reaching a breaking point.
Breaking
J.D.
point.
Power's 2024 survey of North American airports found that passengers spent less in the terminal than they did a year earlier. It also found that food and beverage prices have been the lowest scoring attribute on its survey for years. In May 2025, members of Congress wrote a letter asking the Federal Trade Commission to investigate concession prices at airports and stadiums. They said that with few options, travelers face extreme markups for drinks and food before their flights.
I mean, free market, right? Few options, that means you could charge more. Like if you go to a stadium, why is there no cap for, oh, look, it says it up here. Inside the stadium, fans across major sports, NBA, NFL, face exorbitant prices for concessions. Look at that. After paying high ticket fees. Bro, I went to, what, I think it was like a Super Bowl or something. Jets versus whatever. Football. NFL. Guy asked, what was it, $6 or $12 for, or I think it was $6 for water and $12 for a Gatorade. I'm like, what? Who's buying this?
I experience the same frustration at some airports when I have a beer on the way home from a business trip and pay $16 for it.
Having worked on airport
$16 for a beer is outrageous.
retail now for almost 40 years, it could definitely be better, no question. I believe fervently that amenability and profitability are linked. That the friendlier the space is, the more money you tend to make.
And buying your favorite snack before you reach the airport might save you more than you realize.
That's insane. But look, I believe in free market. If your business succeeds or if your business fails, it's all up to the market. If you have a good value that you're providing for a good price, people are going to come. But if you're stuck in an airport and you're the only option, you have a monopoly, do what you can, do whatever you can. If people buy it, I mean, look, they're charging like double the prices, but people are still buying it. If they're buying it, that means you're providing enough value for them to buy it. It's for the convenience. They didn't buy it before. You could bring M&Ms, I believe. I brought beef jerky through the airport. No problem. What else? It's like, you know those shooters? Like you could buy whatever outside. I mean, you can't bring water unless you pack it in like tiny bottles. Who takes a shot of water? But you could bring mints, you can bring snacks. You can bring any snack as long as they're sealed, I believe. I mean, it goes through the x-ray. You get cancer, who cares? But that'll be all for today. I believe in free market. If they're overcharging at the airport and people are still buying, it's going to go good. What happens if a store overcharges for everything on the street? They go out of business, right? But at the airport, people still buy it. It's free market. Who's the one to go and say like, oh, you can't charge too much? It's their business. If they charge a lot and people are still buying, good for them. They're making a lot of money. But yeah, that'll be all for today. Why everything at airports is so expensive. I'll see you next time.